Oh, good. For those of you who missed the early part of this meeting because the button won't press, we'll put something together in an email as well. So one of the things that Jack was going to talk about was the use of community rooms at fire stations. So a lot of the fire stations across the district have a community room, which we can hire. And when I say we, I don't just mean me. I'm not using the royal we. Anyone can hire for free of charge. So one of the things we're going to suggest is that the next one of these meetings, we have an actual meeting in Shipley, at the community room in Shipley, because that's apparently one of the one in Bradford's not as nice as the one in Shipley. So, and Shipley's, you know, quite central, quite easy for people to get to. So that's all I know he's going to talk about. But there were, I know he's keen to just kind of re-engage with groups that he's had contact with in the past, and also kind of try and build some new relationships as well. So hopefully, well, if we have an actual meeting, he will definitely be there because it's a fire station, and you know, he can let us climb all over fire trucks if that's what we want to do, I guess. So yeah, that's Jack. The next item, unfortunately, on the agenda is me again, so I'll keep this brief. Just one of the things that we're doing at the moment, which may... Sorry, Ali, yeah.
Can I just ask, any contact details for Jack then?
I'll share those, yeah. We'll share that with everyone. I can't type and talk, otherwise I'd put it in the chat. But yeah, I'll share Jack's contact details. He'd be more than happy for me to do that. Thanks, Ali. So one of the things we're doing at the moment is recruiting because of the work we do with asylum seekers and refugees, we've identified an issue in terms of sometimes around language communication. So we're recruiting a bank of translators who can support us with engaging with asylum seekers and refugees. The reason I'm telling you this really, I think, is there's no reason why you can't tap into this bank as well. So, you know, if you ever need an Arabic speaker, Darzi speaker, or whatever it is, just we've got, I've only just started doing it. We've already got like 15 individuals with different language skills. So yeah, just bear that in mind, because interpreters are actually really quite expensive, as we've discovered. So yeah, we've got this bank of translators, which you're welcome to kind of tap into if you need to. As I mentioned earlier, we have moved. We're now at Bread and Roses, and we've changed. We're in the process of changing the way we operate in terms of delivering a service to individuals. In that we're now much more focused on working with people who need extra support. So one of those client groups is refugees and asylum seekers. The other one is adults with complex needs, specifically people with severe and enduring mental health problems. So we run targeted drop-ins across the district, focusing on engaging with those individuals really. Okay, the other thing which might be of interest to people is we have a space in what used to be the B&M stores in Bradford. So that's like a kind of huge warehouse space, and we share it with a number of other community groups. I'm trying to think who's in there. The Global Education Trust are the people who give away free books. You can go in and pick up three books every day. There's a boxing club in there. There's a kids street dance thing in there. There's an arts project in there. Bradford Biker is in there as well. But the space we have is available for anyone to use. I don't know if you do youth work or you want somewhere different to kind of meet. Just let me know, get in touch. It's all free. We've already got Horton Housing going to be using it on certain days of the week for some of the work they do. Talking to someone else later today about a youth group who may want to use it one evening a week. So it's just there. You know, it's just a space. It does have power. It is warm. It does have toilets. It does have a place to make tea and coffee. So yeah, quite a good space to use. If you want to even come and have a look at it, you can just look through the window at B&M, or if it's open, you can go in and have a look, or just give me a ring and I'll take you down there. So that's that. Some other stuff that would be useful to share. We'll do that at the end of the feed. is I've come across a new grant search portal. So those of you who work within the voluntary community sector, there's a thing called grantway.com. It's free to use, and it's just a database of about 1,600 different grants that are available. Obviously not available to all and sundry, but it's just a new system that's free and is run by a well thought of organisation called Induct, who've done a lot of work with the NHS. So Grantway, it's www.grantway.com. I've not looked at it, I must say, but it's probably worth a look. You might. Oh, did anyone here go to the Volunteer Expo last weekend in Birmingham? Did you know about it? Yeah, but you just thought it was a weekend, we weren't going. I was going to go, but unfortunately it fell through for various reasons. So Volunteer Expo is a kind of national conference for volunteering, led by, who's it led by? Help me out. Anyway, it's led by a big national organisation.
NVCO?
No, yeah, NCVO, one of the key partners, but it's actually led by something like the Round Table. It's not Round Table. Anyway, that's not important. The point is they launched the Vision for Volunteering strategy during that event. So if you've not had a chance to have a look at what that means, it's a massive consultation with hundreds of different organisations across the country, both at a national level and a regional level, looking at how volunteering could and should develop over the coming decade. So that's the Vision of Volunteering launch. I can share the link if you've not had a chance to look at that yet. One other thing to share with you is, anyone heard of A Good Thing? A Good Thing. Okay, so A Good Thing is a web-based resource which brings together not-for-profit sector with business. So it's about getting you resources. It might be about arranging donations of goods. It never usually involves cash, but it could be around goods, could be around services. So if you're looking for something from the business sector, the idea is to use this website, Get a Good Thing. It's 3 W's, agoodthing.org.uk. But again, we'll share that with you after the event, after this meeting. So that's all I wanted to say, really. That there is an item on the agenda called Month of Community, which is also about looking at Volunteers Week, which is kind of our next agenda item. So Month of Community is a kind of national initiative led a bit by the Eden Project, which brings together a variety of different events that are happening during June. So June is your month of community. So you've got Volunteers Week from the 1st to 7th of June. You've got Neighbourhood Watch Week from the 5th to the 11th of June. Carers Week from the 7th to the 13th. Loneliness Awareness Week from the 14th to 18th. Refugee Week from the 14th to 20th. Small Charity Week, 14th to 19th of June. And then the Great Get Together from the 18th to the 20th of June. But Volunteers Week this year, Ali's already mentioned he's possibly going to be entering into divorce proceedings because of the amount of work he's putting in during Volunteers Week. Bit of background, it's the 1st to the 7th of June every year. So it's the 38th year that it's happened. I don't know if that includes the lockdown ones as well. The theme this year is A Time to Say Thanks. So there'll be a launch on the 1st of June with a time to say thanks. Obviously, it also coincides with the Jubilee celebrations. So there's bound to be a bit of a crossover in terms of, publicity and promotion and activities that are going on. So I guess over to you. Who's doing anything for or got any plans for Volunteers Week 2022? Well, we know Ali has.
Shall I go first then?
Go on then, thanks.
Well, apart from my unfortunate marital situation, the Cellar Trust after the reopening of society. So a bit of background. I mean, Cellar Trust during lockdown pretty much wound down volunteering altogether. So it was reignited when society kind of reopened again this year. I started in post in February. So I had this idea that perhaps we should do something as a bit of an appreciation for volunteers, and it all ties in with the national theme. So our marketing team have become involved as well. And I guess the majority of the work that we're doing over the course of that week is just raising awareness around our socials and putting out the social media campaigns around it. So we're doing a few things like case studies. We're producing a couple of a marketing team in collaboration with myself are producing a couple of videos, thank you messages for our volunteers, just from staff and internally. But hopefully, we're just going to get on the rooftop and shout out about volunteering a little bit. The headline is on the last day of the week on the 7th. So we're doing an appreciation afternoon for our current volunteers. And we're also inviting a number of stakeholders, friends of the Cellar Trust and a few others, to an afternoon tea event. So hopefully just a bit of a, opportunity to get together physically, because all the things volunteer related have been happening virtually for so long. So cake and tea, hopefully.
Sounds good. I'm doing something similar with my lot. Anyone else want to share any plans they may have?
Yeah, we've got a volunteer get together on the 4th of June. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, so we usually send out thank you cards in the personalised thank you cards, and then we've just got a volunteer get together on the 4th.
That's really weird. I can hear whoever's talking, but I can't see.
I've frozen again.
Oh, okay.
It's centre, Steve.
Is it centre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hear you fine, so that's great. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Donna, you got your hand up. Thank you.
So we're doing similar as well, really, thanking volunteers, but for the befriending project that we have, we are inviting in volunteers to read thank you letters from their clients that they're matched with. So they're going to read them on video, and then we'll put them out on social media. So it's a thank you from the actual client instead of just from us, because we always do the thank yous, and I'm pretty sure they're fed up of seeing my face on videos now. So we are similar to Ali, though. We are doing a thank you video just from staff as well, just the usual. We can't do what we do without the volunteers. And on the Saturday morning, we're also doing a bit of a get together for volunteers in the office, just with tea, coffee, cakes, just to say thank you. And also we've got some like little goodie bags that they can take away with them, hopefully. I think that's everything that we're doing.
That's fabulous. Thanks for sharing that, Donna. Anyone else? Go, Andrew. Thank you.
Fairly much the same, except that we're doing different.
You're very faint. I don't know if there's any way you can turn up the volume.
Let me see if I can change my microphone audio. Gosh.
I think your microphone piece has gone up.
Sorry, of course.
Oh, perfect.
Very stupid of me. Yeah, so fairly much the same, except that running different afternoon teas in different areas, because we've got Harrogate, we've got Craven, and we've got Bradford, and it's a bit much to ask somebody from Knaresborough to come down to Bradford or vice versa, let alone the people in Craven who stretch almost all the way over to Lancaster.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks. So there's a lot of thank yous going on, which is kind of the main theme behind the week this year anyway, so it's good to hear. Any more? Claire?
Yeah,
sorry, I missed your hand.
It doesn't matter at all. Yorkshire Ambulance, we're not coinciding with Volunteer Week. We're just doing things random anyway, but we're having a large event this coming Sunday at Beaucliffe Hall, inviting all the volunteers along and bringing a Pizza Hut and things, and getting them mingling with the staff from the charity. But on a more local level, in the middle of June, I've arranged an invitation for everybody to meet at Ogden Reservoir, just outside Halifax, going to have a little stroll around the reservoir, and if anybody wants to bring a picnic or indeed just come for the picnic, we're doing that as well, a lot more relaxed, if they want to just come along and keep up with us.
Fabulous, fabulous. Anyone else? Okay. I mean, we're not actually going to have this event during Volunteers Week, but we thought it'd be a nice idea to thank our volunteers. We've got an army of people who've been writing to residents of care homes. It started during the lockdown, but it's continuing today, and we've never met any of them. We've also got some proofreaders who kind of help us, support us in terms of proofreading the letters before they go out to the residents, just to maintain confidentiality, etc. And again, we have met them, but not for a while. And bearing in mind where we're based now, we thought it'd be nice to have kind of a bit of a coffee morning thing. So we're going to hire the cafe down below us, and Bread and Rose is going to cook us a cake. So, but that's at the end of June. We're not doing that during Volunteers Week, just because it just didn't. Logistically, it just doesn't work for us that week, just with the bank holidays and staff being away and what have you. Okay, so it feels like there's a lot of people who are engaging and doing a lot of things during the week. And anyway, you know, volunteers are not just for 1st to 7th of June, they're for the whole year. So you should thank them all the time, I guess, and appreciate the work they do. Have you got your hand up, Rosie?
No, Charlotte has her hand up now.
Oh, sorry, thanks. I'm rubbish at this. Charlotte.
That's all right. I was just going to add, we're not coinciding with the volunteer week either, mainly because of Jubilee celebrations, and it all seemed a bit much. So we are having an event on a Sunday afternoon, 10th of July, sort of bringing everybody together for sort of a drinks and canapes or something in Ilkley Manor House courtyard. So hopefully outside, and just, because our volunteers all work independently because they're doing their shopping or their befriending, bring them together and have the opportunity to meet us, meet each other, and so on. But we're intermingling that with more or less 6 weekly informal catch-ups and going to the park for coffee or something, that kind of thing. So trying to keep connected that way now that we can.
Brilliant. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I think that's kind of it in terms of Volunteers Week. I mean, I know that some of you might have a particular interest in some of the other activities that are going on, the other weeks that are going on during the month of community. So, of course, Carers Week. I think this week is Mental Health Awareness Week. Is that right, Donna? I think you've been on TV this morning. Is that right, Donna?
No, the news didn't turn up. There were a better stuff came up this morning, so they didn't come, which is fine. But yeah, we were at Bread and Roses with the Tea and Talk group. And then this week they're doing all sorts on socials and things. And also a focus around staff wellbeing as well this week, just because we promote it to everyone else, but we don't tend to do it very much for ourselves. So yeah, there was a mindfulness session this morning for staff, and a nice croissant breakfast, which was a nice treat in the office. Yeah, they're doing stuff like that throughout the week. And then the walk and talk groups and everything, which are for clients as well. So there'll be all sorts out there, I think, this week.
Okay, good to hear. Any plans for Carers Week, Andrew? Or was that all just a bit too much straight after Volunteers Week?
So the answer is that there are plans going on, but I'm not particularly involved with them. I'm focusing on my bit. So I've heard some things, but I'm sure there's a lot of other things I haven't heard about that are going on that I'll hear about next week or the week after. So yeah, I know the stuff going on, but I don't properly have the program.
Okay. Just one other thing I was supposed to say about Volunteers Week. Apparently, the 6th of that week has been designated as a Power of Youth Day. So if any of you, there's a have any numbers of young people who volunteer, obviously Ros is all of them, then that's a day that's particularly focused on highlighting the contribution that young people make to volunteering community life across the country. Okay, so unless anyone's got anything else in terms of both Volunteers Week and anything else that's going on through June, we could probably move on to the next item. So, Ros, yeah, go.
Sonia's raised her hand.
Thanks.
Yeah, we don't do anything for Volunteers Week or anything because the students are away at that point. Yeah. We tend to make ours during term time. Just change it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Apologies, Sonia.
No, it's okay. I was just about to I was trying to remember because I know, yeah, it's a hard one. It's close to half term, isn't it, this year? So I think a lot of staff, I know I was off, so we couldn't really do that much. But we're doing similar on the Tuesday, the 7th, the last day, because we're closed on Mondays. In the refreshment room cafe at Cartwright Hall, we'll do a nice sort of thank you and cards and lunch. But just to say, for the Jubilee, I was just quickly checking the dates. On the Saturday, the 4th of June, Mr. Park's got a big celebration on Cartwright Hall for the Jubilee. So there's big climbing, climbing walls, and all our parks team are doing lots of animated things in the park and loads to do. So there's a lot of volunteers from us and the council who'll be working with that. Some of our Kickstart apprentices that I've got are going to be working on that as well. So the cafe is open, the refreshment room cafe. Please pop in if you can, because we've got 4 Kickstart apprentices who are brilliant in there now at the moment, and 2 of them are Syrian refugees. And we've got one autistic guy who's working in there. They're all top notch. I mean, they just applied for the roles and got them. We weren't sourcing refugees or anyone. And so I think it would be nice to celebrate that somehow. And there's a few of our Kickstarters who are really sporty, who are sort of sharing themselves with the
something we said. That seemed a bit sudden. Something, maybe she just got cut off. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so next item, she's okay. Next item on the agenda is just a networking and information exchange thing. And then I also have a proposal for the forum towards the end as well. So if anyone's got anything urgent that they need, or it doesn't even have to be urgent, anything they'd like to share, whether it be about an event they've got coming out, issues they might be having, ideas for future topics in terms of this forum, or indeed anything at all that might be of interest to the group.
Can I just let people know, about the new groups that you saw this morning, Steve? So they are free for anyone to come along to. Nobody has to book onto them. We've got tea and talk groups. So we've got one running at the moment at Bread and Roses, and it's the first Monday of every month at 10 till 12. If there's a bank holiday though, then it moves to the second Monday, just because I know they sometimes close on the bank holiday Mondays. And then we've got a chatty cafe, which is the first Tuesday of every month, and that's at Idle Lounge Coffee House, and that's 1:30 till 3:30 in the afternoon. The groups are completely volunteer-led as well. We've not really branded them like massively minding Bradford, because we want people just to come along, feel relaxed, comfortable. Unfortunately, there is still, those stigmas out there of people that see Minding Bradford on a massive logo and they might not want to sit down. So, we just completely like casual clothing, and there's usually signs on the tables so where to go and find them in each cafe. We do also have one running at a retirement housing complex in Idle as well, but it's just not open to the public at the moment. But they're really good, going really well, and we're going to try and introduce some activities to them as well. So it might just be mindfulness colouring. So if you are sat at the table, you can just grab a colouring book and things. So you don't necessarily have to talk. You can just pull up a seat, get a drink, and just sit quietly if you just want the company as well. So anyone is welcome. And as I say, you don't have to book. So we keep putting them out on socials as well, and letting people know when they are. They're still quite new. We've only had 2 of each run so far. but we will be looking at expanding that as well going forward across Bradford and Craven, because my befriending project now covers Craven as well. So, yeah, if anyone just wants to go for a brew and a chat, you are very welcome.
Is there any difference between the format of the two, Tea and Talk and Chatty Cafe?
So Chatty Cafe is through the actual organisation, the Chatty Cafe, and that's national.
Right.
The cafe actually signs up to that themselves on their website. They pay a £20 fee for the year and they get all of the materials automatically. So we've just teamed up with the cafe in that instance. So we run it without volunteers, but obviously from the cafe's point, they're still getting customers in there, and all the materials are updated automatically, so we don't really have to do much. Tea and Talk is kind of our spin-off of that, if you like, that we organise, we do all the materials and we supply the volunteers as well. So there'll be a mixture of both kind of popping up around and about. The Chatty Cafe one though, any cafes and organisations can go on the website and sign up. And it tends to be Costa Coffees that sign up. They have like, I think it's like a scheme where they can choose to do environmental or they can do like a Chatty Cafe. Different Costas will do different things. But yeah, it's national. So if you go on their website and have a look, it tells you where all the Chatty Cafes are as well. Which is...
Thanks, Donna. Haji, you had your hand up.
Yeah, mine were really in terms of the people that we deal with are people that are unemployed for a long term, and my role really is to try and get them volunteering opportunities. And currently, most of the volunteering are either I direct them to the Bradford volunteering website or some of the community centres that I actually work in. So if any of you have got any volunteering opportunities that aren't on the Bradford website, just please get in touch and then I can direct them to yourselves.
Okay, thanks.
We've been really struggling for volunteers, and we've been a little bit reluctant to go down the university. I've spoken to Ross before. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm aware
we can hear you fine. Yeah.
Because generally we know that the befriending is a long-term activity for people to get the best out of it. And also as well, people are still wary about having people in the homes that the younger end, if they're mixing a lot. So it's, but you know, any suggestions about, we've been out to give talks, but we're really struggling at the moment. And even if people show an interest, we're struggling to get them to complete the process, as in getting the application forms or completing the training or just dropping out midway through. Yeah, it's been quite difficult, and we are trying to get, when we can't get volunteers, try to get them into groups if wherever we can get them out, and you know, provide a service in a different manner. But...
Sorry, Ros, you got a hand up.
Just to reply to your centre, but I can always have a chat with you, like on the phone or something if you prefer. Yeah. We've had a lot of befriending over the last couple of years. Started with COVID and it's just carried on. Some of that befriending has been telephone befriending, especially for the Bridge project, and for Mind actually. You've done telephone befriending, and that means they don't have to meet face to face if they're still a bit COVID shy. Also, we've had good reports. Some students do drop out. But we've had some reports of students that have been going for a year and they're still steady. I think as long as the commitment is flexible and it's not too many hours a week and they can choose when they do it, I think if they've got that relationship established, it seems to be that the ones that stick will stick for a good amount of time. So it's not necessarily the case that they will leave. If you want people for more than 3 years, that's different. No. If a year, 6 months to a year is about right, then I think maybe they said that out of interest, being honest, maybe a third of all applicants end up sticking. But if you can cope with a bit of drop off, you know, I think they do it and then they think, oh no, I don't know if it's me, because they're young, they don't know themselves yet. So that is a factor. but the ones that stick will stick for a good. What do you think, Donna? What's your experience?
With the telephone befriending, it does make it much easier for them because it's really flexible. And we just said that we used to say up to an hour each week, but they didn't have to do a full hour. I mean, some clients find half an hour, you know, absolutely perfect through the week. So if you don't really know someone, half an hour on the phone is still quite a long time. So we found with a lot of the students that just being really flexible with them worked really, really well. And whenever they had exams, we just said, you know, let your client know in advance that your exams are coming up. And then if they do need to take a 2-week break whilst the exams are going on, that's fine because the client's expecting that anyway. So we just started setting those expectations, and clients then knew, the students knew that they could, you know, say to the client, I do need to take a break because I'm doing exams, I need to study. And then we found actually they did stick with it for pretty much the 12 months. But they do tend to only do, the ones we've had tend to do like up to the year, and then they seem to move on. But it's all experience for them, isn't it? So I think just letting them be a bit flexible and being just open and honest that they might need to take breaks, and then you should be okay.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. It's a way forward. Unfortunately, what we're short of is ideally people want visits, and you know, but we can only do what we can do. But thank you.
Sorry, I'm not being rude. I am here. No, I'm not talking. I'm in a meeting at the minute, so I'm talking to you on the phone. And so yeah, I'll get her to give you a ring. I better go. All right. Thanks. Bye. So you don't know, we've had like lots of admin issues with invoice payments to do with DBS checks. I had to take that call. Apologies. Sorry, I missed all that. So that was a discussion around befriending, I guess, yeah? And was a good outcome?
Yes, I'm going to talk to Ros later. But we said it's ideally people want visits, but obviously we need to provide something. So
yeah, okay. Sonia, you got cut off, I think, or you just kind of left. I think you were in mid-flow. It felt like you were.
That's fine. I think I said most of it. My battery's not charging for some reason, so I'm now on a really tiny phone. So I'm just looking at you on a really tiny screen. But no, that was mainly, it was just that Jubilee weekend with lots of things going on the 4th.
Okay, as long as you're all right. Okay, I've lost track, but we're kind of on just kind of an update, general update and networking part of the agenda. So if anyone's got anything else they need to share. No. Ali? Yeah? No, that's just waving the screen. Okay. I do have, oh, no, Donna, go.
Sorry, there will be a job advert going out for Minding Bradford soon that's quite exciting for project coordinator. And it will be to look after the befriending project. I am moving over, so yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I just won't look after the befriending. So it will be 22.5 hours a week, which will be flexible. There's kind of no set days and things. They'll just need to be able to work around the 2 administrators' hours and like my hours as well, so that we're available and things. But yeah, pretty much it'll be looking after the befriending project and building, you know, all those anything from feedback and things, you know, to make it a better service for people. It will be completely looking after that and managing 2 administrators as well.
Okay, exciting job. Yeah. Okay, thanks for that. Any more? Okay, I just want to share one thought that I've had that I've already shared with Ros, see what you think. So I was wondering about how much, if any, enthusiasm there might be for sharing the agenda setting and chairing of this meeting amongst the members of the forum. So, for example, you know, we asked for a volunteer to set the agenda and chair the next meeting from the people who are here today. And then because otherwise you just end up listening to me all the time, which is really dull. Donna's already given me a thumbs up. I'll take that as a compliment, not. So yeah, in which case, unless anyone's got is adverse to that idea, in which case I'll ask for a volunteer to chair the next meeting, which is likely to be end of August.
I would, but I think I'm on holiday then, sorry.
No, it looks like it's you then, Roz.
That's all right. What I can do, I'll ask the list and see if anyone wants to. I don't know, it depends if we're doing it face to face or not. I think on Zoom, and it's different on Zoom and different face to face, sort of different skills, aren't they? Different levels of intensity, should we say? So I mean, some people might prefer doing chairing face to face, as I know I do. But someone might be more comfortable on Zoom doing it because they might have done a lot on Zoom, but nothing face to face, you know. So it depends where we have it, and we need to think about venue and things like that. So if anyone has any idea for venue, in August we can do the university because it's out of term time. It's a lot easier for me to book a room, easy peasy, and there's loads of parking. So that might be the answer. During term time, we're looking for venues still, aren't we? So that's another thing. Could we use
Shipley Fire Station?
Yeah, Shipley Fire Station. Yeah. If he's here, if he can, if we can get in touch with him.
I'll track him down. Yeah.
That would be fun to do in Shipley for a bit of a change. Be nearer lots of people in it. So yeah, I'll ask the list as well and see who might want to. Give people time to think about it.
Yeah. Okay. So we've potentially got the next meeting towards the end of August, either at the university or Shipley Fire Station. Any other business? Okay, I can't see any hands, so I think that might be close of play for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thanks for hosting, Roz.